In effect, under our roof, we have had staying over the last 9 years Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Brazil, the Czech Republic, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Lithuania, Sweden, Taiwan, and the USA. Let me introduce you to 28 young people. What do they all have in common? We have been mum and dad to each one of them, and each has experienced a Rotary Youth programme, whether it's lasted for a few weeks, a few months, or for a whole year. I remember being told early on in our hosting that some Rotarians were a little concerned that we would not be good hosts, as we did not have the experience of children of our own. I now reckon we are the most experienced parents of teenagers in the district. Everyone else goes through it a few times with their own children and maybe their grandchildren, but we've gone through it 28 times and still counting. I've sat and comforted the girl whose boyfriend is leaving her whilst thousands of miles away. I've given them much needed hug as they struggle with homesickness, especially at Christmas and New Year. I've worked with them on their homework and their English language skills, and taught many of them how to cook, bake and iron for the first time. So what have we taught them in the time that they stay with us, and what experiences do we share with them? Firstly, the importance of please and thank you. I remember Leo, our Brazilian son, coming with me to events and always responding with a direct answer to the question, but without the required please or thank you. No matter how often I reminded him of the importance of those words in the UK, he could not remember to use them. Then I started using, as we would with young children, and the magic word is, he soon learnt. What is amusing is the response students get on their return home when they still use these phrases. Gustav, our Swedish son, informs us that he is now too polite for Sweden. I've learned to be aware of the challenges our visitors face with our food menus. Take, for example, a student we had having his first roast beef dinner. After getting a fair way through the meal, we noticed he'd not touched his Yorkshire pudding, so we asked, did he not like it? He promptly put down his knife and fork and picked up his spoon and fork to eat what he thought was just a strange UK custom to have your dinner and pudding on the same plate. You watch them as they see their first snow, and then you teach them how to make a snowman. Although it's amazing how they all know how to make snowballs without being taught. You realise that for some of them, the temperature is often much colder than they have ever experienced. When Leo arrived from Brazil, he left in 40 degrees, in shorts and t-shirt. When he landed at Lisbon, it was 10 degrees, and so he put on his coat, trousers, shoes and gloves. When he hit London at -10, he didn't know what to do. In explaining to his father how cold it was, he told him to get in their freezer and stay there for half an hour. Being first host involves the most important moment in the year, and we always tell the students that they must tell us when this has happened. And usually somewhere around the end of the first month, we get the news we've been waiting to hear. They've had their first dream in English. That morning is the indicator that they have settled in. Leo came down and told us that he'd dreamt that his sister was talking to him in English. He had no idea what she was saying, but he knew it was English. However, we do have to dispel several stereotypical views that they have of the British. Firstly, that we don't all stop for tea at 4 o'clock and eat cucumber sandwiches and drink tea. Secondly, that we don't all speak the Queen's English. I usually dispel this by taking them to a West Bromwich Albion football match, and before you say it, they are known occasionally to play football, although I admit not yesterday, where they can hear several black country accents in one go. And we teach them that we have Cadbury's chocolate. As Brittany, our Australian daughter, said, "Wow, you have Cadbury's chocolate as well." For the rest of them, it is a love they develop, as well displayed by their expanding waistlines. And the key message we teach them, different is not wrong. There is more than one way that something can be done. We have an annual camp whereby we have a group of students from across the world for 2 weeks. 1 week is spent visiting another area of the country, preferably with a landmark trust property in it, and you might notice a Scottish one over here at Auchinleck, and our trip to Scotland with the students up the top there. Paul and I willingly use our holidays to take responsibility for the trip. I usually drive the minibus, and he cooks the dinners. The second week is spent with Rotarian families in our district. Clubs take them out for day trips, and we arrange a few group activities. To ensure we have the numbers, we open this trip up to our ambassadorial scholars and to other youth exchange students who are in the country. We've ventured into New Generations, which is a work experience opportunity for 18 to 25-year-olds. Ai, from Japan, came to us last year and spent 3 weeks with us. She spent some days at IBM with Paul, came away with us for a short trip to Yorkshire, and had a few trips around the local area with Rotarians. This year, we're sending 2 girls out on New Generations, one to Brazil to look at veterinary practice, and another to South Africa to work in an orphanage. This gives them a chance to follow up their studies or interests and see something of another country whilst not taking them away for too long a period. So why do we all do all this? Well, it's a great chance to have the world come to us, and we learn so much about it. We're comforted that if the world is in the hands of these youngsters, it will be a safe place to be. We get to learn about our own country as well as we take the students around. We have a great choice of holiday destinations with our own built-in tour guide over there. But most importantly, we have the honour of sharing these people's journey into adulthood and enlarging our own family without the pain of childbirth. We are grateful for the amazing opportunity Rotary has afforded us to give something of ourselves to others and hopefully make a little bit of difference to the future of our world. Would I encourage anyone to become a host parent? Definitely. If you're wondering whether you could ever be a host, I leave you with these few thoughts. If only people would stop and think before they complain about the youngsters of this world, and ask themselves, what did we do to help, before a complaint at them they hurl? If they'd have shared their experience, their wisdom, their time and their home, would it have helped to direct these youngsters' paths rather than leaving them aimlessly to roam? Could they have spared something of themselves and given their love to a stranger's child that would have made them feel welcome, safe, and on them in return their love piled? For if they took a moment, they would remember those who were there in their own past, acting as a guiding light and having on them no judgment cast. I asked myself these questions and sought answers through Rotary over 9 years ago, and took the step I have never regretted, and which now gives me a pleasing glow. To be brave and open up my heart and home to a youngster not known before she entered my door, but who persuaded me that this is something I should and could do more and more. For I have seen the difference I can make to a youngster as through this life they seek their way, and I am so grateful for the privilege to walk with them I have experienced every day. They have given back so much more than I could ever think I was due. And what better way to give service above self than through something that takes every part of you. Thank you.